G'day guys, welcome to an episode of Sorted with Solarflex, a new series on how to use and how to get the most out of the Solarflex product. So today we'll be discussing a number of different ways you can run the dual string product. So if you've got an east-west array, something like that, then we'll show you a couple of different ways that we've seen installers use, and we can go from there. Let's start with the first and most common method. So in this method, we run a 2-core and earth from one array across to the second array, and then we run a 4-core and earth from that array down to the inverter. So let's look at this instance here. We'll call this our east array and this our west array. So we'll start with our east array. We run the 2-core and earth Solarflex through a roof penetration, through the ceiling, and take that over to the west array. Then at the west array, we take the 4-core and earth, which combines the two arrays, and we bring that down to the inverter. One thing to consider with this method is that you'll need to do 2 roof penetrations at the west array, so where your 2-core and earth comes across from your east array, and then where your 4-core and earth travels down from your roof down to the inverter. We're all good at doing roof penetrations in the industry, so that's not a big issue. It's just one thing to consider. This is by far the most common method that we see utilised in the industry, but there are other methods which we'll explain. One of the last ways, the last methods we have seen used is this method here, whereby we call it the split and team method. That's just what we call it here internally, but basically what it is you run a 4-core and earth into the roof space about halfway between your two arrays. You then strip your conduit off for the distance going to one array, and then you get 2-core and earth, take it to one array. You get an earth from that array and run it through to the other array and slide conduit over that. So you're effectively taking your 4-core and earth and splitting it into 2 by 2-core and earth. So then when you come down your wall cavity, you've still got your 4-core and earth all in one. This way is a little bit more work. Some jobs it works better. Some jobs you might prefer to do the method where you take a 2-core and earth over to the other array. As again, job specific, so there's just one option. So I hope you found that interesting. As we mentioned, it's often situation or job specific, whether you run it with the T and split method or whether you run 2-core and earth from one array across to the other. One thing to consider with using the method running one across to the other is if you have a leftover piece of the 4-core and earth Solarflex, you can take 2 of those cables out, use them on the roof for running your strings, your return loops. Then you end up with a 2-core and earth, so you can use that as your Solarflex to run from your east to your west, or from one array to the other array. So if you need any further information, or you got any other questions, or you have a different way of running Solarflex, give us a call and we'll be happy to help you out. Cheers.